and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. And today we are doing something so fun. I honestly think that this thrift flip turned out so good. But anyways, so let me tell you what we're gonna do. So I thrifted this top, which is like a little bit big for me. It's a size XL, and normally I'm like a size small, so obviously it was a bit big for me. But I saw it and I thought that the pattern and the fabric was just absolutely beautiful and so on trend for this summer. It's like the baby yellow with the little floral decals, you know, cottage core vibes, all that. So I thought that would be a really, really cool piece to transform into something. And when I saw it, I thought that it would actually make a cute like bra and undies set, because since it's only a shirt, there wasn't a ton of fabric to work with. And I thought that if I could pull that off, that would be really cute. And spoiler alert, we did pull it off. So I'm so excited to show you guys how to turn this into that. It definitely gives me like For Love and Lemon vibes and all that. So I'm so excited to show you guys how I did it. So without further ado, let's just get on with the DIY.
Okay, so honestly, I designed this shirt as I went because, like I said, there wasn't that much material and I just had to kind of make the pieces as I went to see how much I would have. So in order to do that, I really wanted to use as much of the natural hem, so like where the floral decal is, as possible. So I decided to make the bralette part first, and I actually wanted to use the top of the top here where the shoulders are. So the best way to do this is to grab a bralette that fits you nice or anything like that, and then you can use that kind of as a template, or you can take your own measurements. I just find this to be easier. So I just used my bralette to kind of line it up on the shirt where I wanted it, and I looked and said I could also like pinch the top part to kind of finish off the triangle. So yeah. So then I also grabbed a yellow marker just because that's the color of the shirt, so it's less noticeable, and I just drew a straight line across where I wanted to cut, leaving a little bit of room for hemming. So I cut that out of the shirt, and then I also cut the top off, and I actually left the natural hem on the top because that would just help from fraying in the future, and it just helps like keep it nicer in place. However, I did mess this up on the other side and accidentally cut the hem off, but it still worked out totally fine. It was just an extra precaution. Might as well use the hem if you have it. So then I just took the template from the other side instead of the bralette and used it to make it exactly the same and cut it out. Make sure that you line it up really well just because you want it to be symmetrical. Now you have your two top pieces, and what we're going to do now is, because it was a button-up shirt, I don't want the buttons showing like that, so we're just going to fold it in, and what we're doing is folding it in twice, like a rolled hem. So we're going to roll it once and then twice. You could just roll it once. I think that rolling it twice for me really helps make it structured, if you know what I mean. Like, it helps keep the bralette standing up. You'll see that later. So that's what I did, is just roll it twice. Then once that's pinned in place and it looks nice and even, then I just took it to the sewing machine. Now that the pieces are sewed, it's time to do the bottom hem. So again, I did a rolled hem, so I just rolled it up once and then a second time and then pinned it in place. When both of your pieces are pinned in place, then go right back to your sewing machine and do it again. We'll be doing that lots. So now you can see that it has a nice finished hem on both pieces. So now it's time to make the band that goes around. So again, I wanted to use as much floral decal as possible, so I decided to take the middle of the shirt just because of the side hems. I didn't want the side hem to be randomly like on half of the boob or something like that. Like, I wanted to make it in the middle. So I decided to do that, and because it's a stretchy elastic that I'm using as my template, I just made it a little bit bigger than I would have to account for the stretchiness. Then I just laid my two pieces out to kind of design how I wanted it so that the decal would be on the bottom, and then I'm actually going to put it over top of the two pieces to finish it off, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So I wanted to make it thick enough because we are going to be folding this piece in half so that it's double lined. So that's why I made it as tall as it is, because we'll actually be fully folding it. So now just cut that piece out. So I just cut the two sides and then I folded it up and just used that to make a straight line across. Now you have this thicker piece, which is great, and you can put the rest of the shirt aside for now. So you want to make sure that you're working with the inside of the shirt, and you're going to fold it down like this, and that's kind of how we're going to sew it. But first, I wanted to just roll it in a little bit just to make sure that it's more of a finished hem, and it just always looks better and is more sturdier when you do that. So for this one, I just rolled it once, and then I brought it down to where the floral decal is and pinned it all in place. Once it's all pinned in place, I just took it over to the sewing machine. All of the stitches I did were all straight stitches, if you know what that is. So the very just simple stitch. So as you can see, it's now folded down and sewed in place, and I just wanted to show you what it looked like once it was sewed. Looks nice and finished on the outside. Okay, so now take your two boob pieces and find the middle of the band. And then place the middle of the band in the middle of the two pieces. Make sure that everything is facing the right way so that the insides are all facing towards the table, unless you're putting it on a different way. As you can see, I accidentally was not doing that because I think when I unflipped it, I did it. So I actually started sewing it and I had to take the hem out and re-pin it in place. But just make sure that you are doing it the right direction. And then pin it in place. And as you can see, it makes a really cute bralette so far. Now again, take that to the sewing machine. So as you can see, I sewed a straight hem across, and that's why the boob pieces are a little all over the place, but I knew that that was gonna happen. I just knew that as long as it was sitting straight on the band, then it would be perfect. So put the bralette aside for now, and we're gonna start on the underwear. So I grabbed these underwear because they're much more full coverage, almost like boy shorts, and I thought that it would be best to try and make the underwear as big as possible because the fabric is not elastic, and anytime I've tried to make something on the bottom, sometimes it goes a bit small, so I just wanted to make sure I had as much room as possible. So you can totally use your own underwear or your own bathing suit bottoms as a template, or you can take your own measurements again, but I always think that's much harder. So I always try to use a template. So here, obviously I'm trying to figure out where to put these underwear, where to cut it out from, because we do not have a lot of fabric to work with. But I figured, okay, I want to use as much of the floral decal as possible, and I found that the front piece would actually be perfect if I used the back of the shoulder as sort of where the leg holes will be. So once I figured that out, I really just sketched around my template and gave it about an inch of seam allowance. Then I just cut it out from the shirt. So now we actually have the front piece, and that was nice and easy, and we didn't use too much material, which was great. So then I took the front piece, and I wanted to obviously line it up well with the back piece. So now it's time to figure out where I'm going to cut the back pieces out of, and I decided that I would make the back piece two separate pieces and then attach it in the middle. So again, I wanted to use the floral decal, and this was the only place really left that I could use it. So I decided to use the front piece to kind of create a template and then kind of make the back piece even larger than that. And then I did the same thing. I cut out that piece and used it as the template for the other side. And then cut it out. So now you have your two back pieces, as you can see, and they just have to be attached in the middle. So make sure when you're attaching it, you have the pieces facing towards each other. So you want what will be the inside of your underwear to actually be the outside, because you want the hem to be on the inside, not the outside of your underwear. So make sure you face it the right way, and then if there's any buttons or anything you need to take off, you can use a seam ripper. It's literally like $2 from a craft store or Walmart or anything like that. Next, you're going to take the front piece and make sure that when you fold it in half and when you're going to sew the back piece, the crotch lines up so that one isn't too big and one isn't too small. Now you're going to take your back piece to the sewing machine, and now you can attach your front piece to your back piece. So we're actually only attaching it in two spots, which is the crotch. We're going to be attaching the sides with the ribbon because that was the best way I could think of to attach it without using an elastic and without having a lot of fabric, but the bottom definitely needs to be attached. So now that that's attached, we have to hem the rest of the bottoms. So first we're gonna hem the top of the front and then the 2 leg holes of the back, and then I'll show you why we wait for the other ones after. So again, I did a rolled hem. You roll it once and then again and pin it in place. Just do it as evenly as you can. You can measure this out to make it a perfectly even thing, but I kind of just guesstimate and it turns out pretty great. So whatever works for you. So once those are all pinned in place, you're gonna take all of that to the sewing machine and hem it. All right, now that you have all of this hemmed, we are going to attach the ribbons. So I had to go to the dollar store and figure out the ribbons that I got. Okay, so right now I'm torn between these ones because I think I want a really white one because the decal on it is really white, but it's very hard to choose because this one's thicker. These 2 end ones are the same. This one's just thicker, this one's thinner. And this one's kind of like ribbed, and then this one was really pretty. And then I was also thinking this big thing, I could maybe like cut off the pieces for that because it would be really pretty, but I'm just worried that that won't be long enough for the straps. So maybe it'll have to be one of these. We're thinking. I'll let you know which one I choose. Okay guys, so I was gonna go for the ribbed one because I think it's nice, but then I kind of laid it out and I don't think I'll have enough to do like for the bra and underwear. It just didn't seem like enough. And I did buy this one and the smaller version. So I think I'll have enough if I use more of this ribbon. And I put a poll on Instagram which one I should use anyway. And this one did win. So I think that we're just gonna go with this one. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I just cut all of this ribbon in 2. And then each one will be for each side. So I'll probably make the back one longer and the front one shorter. I'll show you guys better afterwards, but that used all of this one, and I thought that that would, like I would need all of that for the top. So now I'll push that to the side. So now for the bottoms, luckily I bought the smaller one too, and I think this will actually be really cute for the bottoms. So we actually have to have 8 pieces because we're gonna attach this to like the top, the bottom, on both pieces, and then top and bottom. So I need 8 pieces. So I'm just gonna measure this out. Okay, so I just found the middle just to help because I honestly just wanna make the pieces as long as possible so I have the most room to work with, and I think the longer, the cuter anyways. So we're gonna make 4 pieces out of these. Okay, so we're gonna half it. Okay, so now I have 2 pieces and then half it again. So that's how long each underwear side will be. So let me finish cutting them. Okay, so now we have 8 pieces. So 4 for this side and 4 for that side. All right, so to attach the back, make sure the shiny side's up. Since this is already finished, all I need to do is I'm just gonna roll it once like this so it's a finished end kind of thing, and then I'm gonna sew it right on. So let me attach those. Okay, so I guess I stopped talking in the video, so we're back to the recording, but that's totally fine. So I have all 4 ribbons attached and they're all rolled, but for the front piece, because the hem is not finished, we are actually gonna work it into the hem, if that makes sense. So right there, I pinned it in place, and I'm gonna pin the other one in place on the bottom. And I made the pin so that the round part would be able to come out of the top because we're actually going to roll the hem with the ribbon in it. So 1 roll, and then 2 rolls, and then pin that in place. And then you can continue to pin that in place along the whole side of the front, all the way up to the second ribbon. So as you can see, the ribbon is turned and rolled actually into the hem. So I thought that that would make it really secure. And then when you sew it, you want to sew over the ribbon again so that it's facing the outside. So I just wanted to show you what it looked like. So as you can see, it's all weaved into place and it looks great and secure, which is what we want for bottoms, if you know what I mean. Okay, so the underwear are actually done, and it's time to go back to the bralette and attach the ribbon and finish it off. So again, like I said earlier, there wasn't a ton of room with the ribbon, so we used the thicker ribbon for this. And basically, I cut that ribbon in half, and in each half, I made a long piece for the back strap, a shorter piece for the front, and a shorter piece for the very back. So in total, 6 ribbons. So I started with the very back just to get that in place. So how we're gonna finish the hem here is, because it's a tube, we're actually just gonna tuck in the ends a little bit, and then we'll put the ribbon inside that and sew it into place, and then you have your finished hem with the ribbon attached. Perfect. So now that you have both of them, you can take your bralette to the sewing machine, and as you can see, it looks nice and finished and secure. Again, what we're going for. So now the final step is to attach the 2 straps. So again, we're gonna roll the hem for both of these because they will be exposed more. So we wanna make sure we're rolling the hem and make sure that whatever part is the outside, so in this case, this ribbon had like a shinier outside, make sure that when you're gonna be putting on the bralette, that is facing the outside, not against your skin, because otherwise it'll just not look as good. So attach that. I honestly just kind of tried it on and saw where I would want the back strap. I counted a few stripes in, I think like 5 yellow stripes in I counted, and then I attached it and made sure that they were even on both sides. So for the top, I wanted to bunch the very top together a little bit just to kind of make it more of a triangle and kind of around my boob better, if you know what I mean, kind of hold it in place better. So again, I rolled that one, and then I brought the fabric together towards the outside of the triangle piece and pinned it in place. So there you go, that's one side, and you just sew right over that. And then you do it to the other side. And now we have both pieces, so let's see how it turned out.
That is it. Thank you so much for watching. I was actually thinking of making a little scrunchie with the extra fabric I have, because I have one more piece that has like the floral decal on it, and I'll probably make a little Instagram reel or something when I do it, so if you want to check that out, make sure to follow me on Instagram. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought. I'm really curious to know if you guys think I pulled it off, because I honestly am pretty proud of myself for this one. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. I do lots of thrifting and thrift flips and upcycling clothes, so if you're into that, then definitely make sure you subscribe. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Have an awesome day. Bye!